There we go. Because that's right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live in Game 3 of this best-of-5 quarter-final battle between, in the north, the reigning champions of the 2v2 team. You've got Noggano and Scotch. And who do they find in the south there, my dear friend VonIvan?
They are finding Cruzz and Siddolio, with Cruzz being Astir and Siddolio being OKW.
This is Last Chance Saloon. This is their last gasp effort. It's do or die, now or never for the team in the south. Von, what are their chances and what do they have to do to make it happen?
Well, this is, like you said, their final stand. And I have to say, Noggano and Scotch probably have a slight advantage because of the fact that they've played against them already and stomped them so hard in the first 2 games. However, Cruzz and Siddolio do have a small chance of making it back here because they're playing on a map that is definitely Axis favorite to the south. And if they can utilize that to their highest potential, hopefully they've played enough on this map to realize that Axis have the advantage. And if they can do that perfectly and make it to the late game, they might actually have a chance to come back into the series. So we'll see if they can pull it out here.
We'll see if they can pull it out indeed. We've had Stern Pioneers laying a trap, but they never actually got in the building. What were they doing there in the west, VonIvan?
Oh, to the west, they've got a infantry section camping the building, pushed back a...
Yeah, but let me explain the situation to you. So we had the Stern Pioneer hiding behind the building, then for ages, like from the start of the game, and then the Tommies finally got in, and the Stern Pioneers retreated. I don't fully understand what they were doing.
Yeah, that's a good question, actually. I'm not sure what... I guess Siddolio mismicroed or misplayed the engagement there and anticipated something else happening because that was I think a miscalculation on his part.
Battle of the reconnaissance vehicles. The Kubelwagen, converted VW Beetle.
Vicker's not upgraded, so the Kubel actually has a decent chance to deal a bit of damage towards it.
So let's keep an eye on various units at our disposal on this very interesting battle, as I predict it to be a lot more fierce, a lot more heated. If you've been watching this cast with one eye open, I think you might want to be fully alert for this one, because this could be a lot more hype than the previous games, because Cruzz and Siddolio know they have no chance. If it goes wrong here, there's no one step back, Commander.
Ah, yes, the glory is not one step back, Commander. A commander so rare, I and only a handful of people have actually seen it before in a Co2 game and used it.
And a live
Let me
Co2
tell
game.
you, that commander is one of the most broken commanders ever created in Relic Studios in Vancouver. And it's probably why they, even though the DLC money was pretty enticing to do so, they couldn't publish it because even they knew they were going too far if they had to.
Absolutely, and there we go. We see a Faust go in against the UC. But Grenadiers also swarming in. Oh, the Vickers wasn't set up. The cone of fire does not cover the UC's reverse path.
Oh, wonderful Gren push from Cruzz here. Might be able to get another Faust to take out the Gren carrier, but it's using its suppression ability, but it gets Fausted, and Cruzz wonderfully executes that engagement there, putting the allies on a serious back foot. That Gren carrier kill was huge. Because without that extra, bleed and free repair and suppression, look, right now the allies are just falling apart.
Look at this Tommy as well, Von. Tommy's so low,
north,
taken down.
Oh my God, they're making it. They're making it. They know how to play this map, and they are showing us the effectiveness of Axis in the early game, and are absolutely annihilating the allies right now. And it's just beautiful to watch that they actually are making a comeback here.
They
we
really
might be seeing a series of 5 going. They could win this game.
Seems like the first 2 games were just a warm-up for Cruzz and Siddolio, and they're now raring to go.
They got their game face on this game, that's for sure. I think Noggano and Scotch are just like, holy shit, where did this shark come out of the water?
Look at Noggano's army as well. He's got 2 Vickers and a Tommies to help them out. It's a new game.
He's had to rebuild his Tommy squad instead of getting an important AEC out too. So if the Axis can get light vehicles out ASAP, these allies are going to be in a hell of a tough position.
It's a new day, a new map, a new game. And a new revitalization for Cruzz and Siddolio.
A new beginning.
A new beginning. Let's see what this...
Cruzz wonderfully back soft retreating the MG into a building to keep it alive and to keep the staying power going while supporting with 2 Grens. However, he's going to be careful. There is a weak Grenadier in red cover. He's forced to retreat it, but MG might also have to retreat here. He's got 2 rifles firing on both sides without being suppressed. So if he's not careful... Yeah, okay. He's retreating the MG. Smart move from Cruzz.
Nice. Only loses 1 model as well. Could have been a lot worse, a lot more tricky. They've also got Folks Grenadier in this vital building here, and that's going to help out considerably. Got the old relic cursor, and I've got my cursor back. Fantastic.
Beautiful. And as you can see, this is the exact opposite of what Noggano and Scotch were doing to them the last 2 games. They have completely dominated the battlefield. They have the left-hand side entirely locked down. They've got the center applying tons of pressure, the right side harassing the fuel successfully. This is just a wonderful opening for Axis. And it's great to see that they're using it to their advantage.
The Empire strikes back in every sense of the word. The Star Wars references continue as Cruzz and Siddolio's battle plans are complete. They've lured their opponents into a false sense of security. They've made them think that they were noobs, and it's just not the case.
Yes, this is the meme team I was hoping to see in this tournament series here. This is when they're shining. I can see right now they're just absolutely taking advantage of this. However, there's a Volks Grenadier that Siddolio let the captain kill, which was kind of depressing to watch.
It was. Oh,
on the
another
right side,
Grenadier?
they're about to cut him off.
So, yeah,
oh, he wiped the Vickers in the USF's base there as well.
Nice. So a lot of manpower attrition, and look at Noggano's army. He's suffering so much. Just now recruits that Vickers. Let's have a little tiny look at the graphs, just see what the army values are looking like. Looking decidedly better. And Noggano's just suffered so much this game.
Yeah, Noggano is Noggano is what Cruzz was in the last game with Siddolio. He's entirely on the back foot. Look at this. He's got almost his entire army in the base doing nothing. Absolutely nothing. And they're fully healed. Now they're finally moving. USF can't, you know, with USF, it needs to be carried in 2v2. It can't hold the line itself.
And he's gone for 5-man squads really early on. 150 manpower.
Lost another Vickers. Oh. Yeah, these guys, if Cruzz and Siddolio, which I believe they are teching up, if they can get a vehicle out, it's game over. Unless they literally throw their entire armies right now. I think this is the comeback dream that they were hoping for.
But what a comeback, VonIvan. This is a sledgehammer. This isn't just like battling out of your corner and getting a few jabs off. They've come out and knocked their opponents out, it would seem.
I think they took my advice of let the Terminators come and overextend, and then use the infamous Hoy attack procedure to counter them in their own game.
Very beautifully put, and in some ways, VonIvan, I think we can credit you with this win.
Well, I can hope they listened in for a second and was thinking, hey, you know, maybe we could do what Biden was saying here. We might actually get a good game going. But
I think this is the rebirth of the Experts clan, VonIvan. It's happening.
Oh,
it's live.
The dream right there. The dream.
Get
that pro analysis going.
Exactly. So Scotch right now, he's having to get the ambulance. He has got the Stuart out there. The Stuart is, you know, a vehicle that is capable of forcing a comeback if it gets any cheeky squad wipes off, but it's not looking likely right now, in all honesty.
Yeah, this is, thankfully the Allies were able to get a Stuart out to slightly come back into this game. They actually have the center, thankfully as well, they were smart enough to cap the center VP so the bleed isn't too horrible on them, so they can at least have a slight chance to come back. But yeah, they're slowly getting back into the game here. They're forced to just focus the right-hand side, but for how long, that is the real question.
It's a false sense of security, Von, because Siddolio's gone straight for Schwer Panzer headquarters. So he's allowing his opponents to come in ever so slightly so he can then curb stomp them into oblivion.
I feel like they're going to do the exact same strategic maneuver they did at the 5-minute mark of this game at the beginning, where they just let them come in real deep, give them a false sense of security, and then go, oh, here it comes, the Viper strike. They're coming in with a huge flank on the right and a holding on the left.
The pincer
Stewart
movements.
is able to keep them back a bit, but
The new engineer section is waiting for
keep an eye
orders.
on that, Stuart. It is an MVP unit now for the Allies.
they got a camoed Reckenwerfer sneaking up on the side. Might be able to get a cheeky shot in. Captain comes in to pull it back. Oh,
Couldn't quite get it off. Stern Pioneers pushing up and maintaining control of that victory point.
Noggano using his Vickers very effectively. Cruzz is going to need to learn to flank here a bit. Just keep putting the Grenadiers into the meat grinder of the Vickers, but hopefully they've realized that the Allies are definitely going to be able to hold this side of the map, and maybe it might be better to go for the cutoff and flank around them instead of going straight at their MGs and light vehicles.
Ooh, the mortar's doing ever so much work against this Vickers. Noggano just about escaping with his life there.
Anti-tank gun.
Must be noted, by the way, Von, Nagano's had the presence and forethought of mind to go all the way around the side there and start capping the fuel. Oh, Gren's on the pursuit though, Von. This Vickers got decrewed.
Oh! He's gonna have to try to get that out alive. No cheeky rifle nade from the Grenadiers.
Oh, what a wipe in the centre! Oh, what a nade!
He lost a Volks Grenadier in the process,
Yes.
though. Was that a...
It was a nade in the centre. That was me going, oh, ho, ho.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That was real good play from Scotch there.
Yeah, just a terrible clump of units that are now part of a human centipede. That's right. Human Centipede Part 4, the Wehrmacht edition, is fully engaged.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The Allies, surprisingly, I guess, have realized not to underestimate their opponents now, and are actually, you know, coming back slightly into the game here. For how long is the real question, considering the Axis have the fuel advantage, and Cruzz does have Tier 3 up. But if they can get a vehicle out in time, they might be able to keep the Allies on check. But right now, though, it seems their line of defense has cracked a bit.
I'm always a big believer in Von, that if in Company Heroes 2 you have the advantage, you need to keep that advantage. And I think Siddolio here has possibly misstepped in not getting anything from Tier 3. Oh, just had something die there. Was that the
Kubel goes down
Yep.
to a 6-pounder AT gun in the center.
And the point I was making is you never want to let your opponent back into things. And by going for Tier 4 instead of getting anything from Tier 3, we've had 5 minutes where they've been slightly on the back foot. We'll have to see if this Panzer IV pays dividends, Von, if it was all worth
hopefully this Panzer IV will be able to knock the Allies back out and give the Axis the initiative once again.
They have their fuel back. Panzer IV is half done now. We're 13 minutes in, so it's a relatively quick Panzer IV. It could be a little bit quicker. Mortar peppering the Allies with fire continuously. Let's change our scope and have a look at this mortar. It's got 5 kills so far. A battle down here. Ooh, MG's been found out by the rear echelons. But here comes the Panzer IV. Excellent camouflage as well. Looks beautiful. And look at this blob, Von. You talked about the Hoy clan. That's a bit of Paula's finest right there.
Oh, Apollo would be proud of that blob.
I naded the path of the blob.
He almost naded his own RE squad. Oh, and it goes down to the blob. Jesus. That's a bit of desperation from Scotch there.
Really is. Got battles all over the field right now. It's all happening. There's a spirited resistance, a battle line drawn by the Allies. There's no retreats, no surrenders. Reckenwerfer getting some excellent shots on the mortar half track. Kills it across the pond.
Holy mackerel. That was an MLG shot from that Reckenwerfer for sure. Good job from Siddolio. He's also got an OKW P4 out as well.
He has indeed. The got 2 Panzer IVs rocking out. They've both gone for. I think I kind of see what they're doing now, Von. They both skipped Tier 3 units. They ate up a little bit of Allied resistance, in order to get 2 medium tanks out in relatively quick fashion. Very interesting strategy.
Yeah, now it looks like they're getting back their line of defense they had in the early game, pushing the Allies back into a corner slightly.
Exciting stuff.
Another fun fact I just noticed is that the OKW Panzer IV, they give the type of Panzer IV it is compared to the Austria one, which is just a Panzer IV.
Oh yeah, it's Alf J or something. Yeah, I'm sure that means something to German military history buffs or something. For me though, it just means it gets side skirts from the get-go and has this weird turret ring as well to stop.
Yep, it's an improved version of it. Oh, cheeky nade on the Grens in the right-hand side might go down to these LMG rifles. Panzer IV, I don't know what it's doing. It's derping.
Oh, it's derping indeed, and the M1 takes it out from max range
Jesus
there.
Christ. Cruzz just let that die to an AT gun from max range. Oh, man.
That's brutal. That really is, and seems that now the game is a little bit more even there, Von, all of a sudden.
Oh god, Cruzz is starting to show a bit of the throws and misplays that he had in the second game as allies with his P4 play there.
What's this, careering onto the battlefield? It's another mortar half-track. Seems like he really likes these things. To Scotch, he's the indirect fire boy for the team. I think Scotch has been using indirect fire in the same way he has this infantry company a lot in his 2v2 history. I remember him using it like 2 years ago in 2v2 matches. So I think that might be part of the secret of their team. He always goes for this indirect fire and has mastered that. And that allows Noggano to go for the heavy tanks and the micro, the vehicles maybe.
Yeah, it seems like Scotch's role is more of a support, whereas Noggano tries to go more of a defense or strike force type asset play that I've noticed. Because you see, he's currently building a Firefly and he's got 1 AT gun, while Scotch has a motor half-track, a Stuart, an AT gun, and 4 rifles with LMGs equipped.
Look at this, Von. He's about to possibly get a triple cap. Engage the Allies.
Yeah, the Allies getting a triple cap. And that definitely shows that they're getting back into this game here, forcing the Axis to go into a small pocket in the center. I think Cruzz and Siddolio need to do what they did in the early game and force another pushback of the Allies real soon here, or else it's going to be bad.
Ober's just upgraded to their MG34. They'll be able to evaporate and delete some squads, possibly. Here comes the Firefly. Nades going in the southeast here from the riflemen, pushing away first grenadiers. Scotch starting to envelop the map on the east side. Panzer IV eating a 6-pounder shot at range. Firefly doesn't want to get into vision of that Rakettenwerfer, but it's been pushed away by the captain, so he's now got chance. The Stuart's also harassing as the riflemen swarm in by Scotch. Great micro. He's tying the noose, Von.
Oh, that was a wonderful flank from Scotch there with the LMG rifles. Just absolutely decimating Cruzz's grenadiers here. He's actually losing a grenadier to the Stuart round, and the Rakettenwerfer is still there, completely unimproved. Motor's also taking fire now from the captain. Forced to retreat, both of them.
Wow, so we've got the Panzer IV repairing in the west. If Noggano hears that or sees it with his Tommies, it could prove fateful. It could prove extremely fateful. Firefly on the rampage. Doesn't know what he's seen, though. Doesn't know where it is. Maybe he can hear the clanking of the blowtorches. That doesn't make any sense, but you know what I mean.
Exactly, it's just trying to sense where the Axis armor is trying to push from. And he sees that there's a OKW Panzer IV nearby, and he's trying to hunt it down here. The Rakettenwerfer, though, is coming up to support.
Hunt for red Panzer. Nice rifle nade. Slightly dodged by Scotch. Rakettenwerfer's pushed up. Not actually encloaked, but it doesn't matter. He just needed to get there. Let's talk about commander choices, Von. We've had Cruzz go for Jaeger and Siddolio go for special operations. I mean,
definitely wise decisions, in my honest opinion. Good doctrines to pick for late game with the JU-87 and Command Panther, and also for the early to mid with the infiltration needs and Camo and Jaegers. So I think those were wise doctrine choices. The problem now is they need to execute good strategic plays, because that is the issue that's occurring at the moment for Allies. They had that foothold in the beginning, but then they let the Allies come back, and now seems like the tables have slightly turned, and the Allies are about to get another triple cap on them.
There you go, as the riflemen push in. The Allies are looking ascendant, looking boisterous, and they're doing a damn fine job, doing exactly what they need to do. Cruzz has access to light artillery, probably saving for Stuka close air support, 200 munitions. That could be an interesting combat mechanic, Von. That could help if they wanted to go for a big push.
Oh, definitely. Both the Brit and the USF player have absolutely no anti-aircraft capability right now, so they can definitely use that to maximum effect if they get it.
Also, I note that Siddolio's bought on the Jagdpanzer, another great vehicle for this map. Might be able to make that do work for them.
Cruzz is actually about to get a Warfer on the field too, so definitely good timing and smart tech choices to have. The Warfer is a good choice in terms of wiping the AT guns and rifles.
The Sherman Firefly's in a tricky predicament, you know.
Oh, forced to push back. He's got, what is this, the Jäg, and we're Captain Warfer and a Panzer IV on the foothold here. Panzer IV has to pull back though from some shots.
Still double capped right now. They had to evacuate from capping the western victory point. It's just a good thing for Cruzz and Siddolio that they had such good victory point control in the early game, so they can actually soak up a little bit of this right now.
Yeah, definitely. Scotch is building a Jackson as we speak, not a bad Tekken choice as well. And we got a Warfer heading down on the retreating rifles.
Oh.
Just barely gets away. No model kills from that, so that was unfortunate, but did force a retreat.
If any of you can sense a slight tinge of bias in VonIvan and myself's casting today, it's obviously we do want this series prolonged. We don't want to see a 3-0, and Cruzz and Siddolio had such a great early game. It'd be a shame to see them crash out after such a spirited resistance.
Yeah, exactly. We're hoping for an epic game to watch here and a good series of wonderful...
Oh. Faust goes in on the mortar half track. Got the Jackson going for a crush. It's not got the best turning circle, so not able to do that as much as it'd like to. Elsewhere, they've got the Grenz swarming in, capturing that victory point finally. And in the west, Stern Pioneers push forward. So, Von, they're stabilizing.
Yeah, they're definitely stabilizing, but they might be getting the VPs, but the Allies have both fuel points entirely under their control. They really need to grab that fuel back, because as you can see, they are fuel sapped, whereas the Allies have, you know, the full income they need in terms of getting armor on the field.
There we go. Her Majesty's Land Mattress, making a permanent bed for many of these men.
Ooh, Scotch might be landing into some of those land mattress rounds of his rifle squad in the ammo point, but thankfully didn't take any damage from that.
No.
And it looks like they are solidifying the left-hand side now, which is good. Warfer going in on the center, I think.
Yep.
Gets one model kill.
Predictable verfs, though, so far, Von. I mean...
Yeah, very predictable. I think Cruzz needs to try to use that Warfer to clear out AT guns, because it's a lot easier to take out AT than infantry, because the AT takes longer to move and retreat than infantry do, to a certain extent.
I remember once a great man called Imperial Dane told me, if you're going to verf hard, don't verf softly. You know, that might be alleged, he may never have said that, but I imagine he would, and it's a very true statement. You want to make sure your verfs count. You can't just be affording to push away a squad. You need to pick on something that can't retreat, or choose somewhere your opponent isn't expecting it, and make them count.
I think another glorious unit that would make Dane proud is the Stug that Cruzz has called in on the battlefield. The question is, can he use it effectively versus the Jackson, and is he going to get more than one Stug? Because I think double Stug on crossing is one of the most OP combinations ever, as long as the Allies can't counter it with AT.
Panzer IV misses its mark horribly there, and they need to get a good passage of RNG. Is that the land mattress firing? Something's happening.
Oh, sounds like artillery from... Actually, yeah.
It's the priest, it's the priest.
Ah, there we go. Yes,
Yes.
the priest in the center. I thought it was the Brit HQ that was firing at first, but no, it's the priest.
Oh, 3 kills and climbing. Grenadiers so close to dying there.
Oh, just barely get out with their lives. Somehow the Vet-3 motor is still alive too, which is good. Warfare going down in the center.
What? How did that not get anything? And the land mattress returning fire.
Depressing.
Watch the land mattress hit every shot now. Oh, it wipes the veterancy mortar.
Oh no! Oh, that's horrible for Cruzz. He needed that Vet-3 motor.
He needs everything. He's just lost his other mortar as well.
Oh Jesus! Yeah, that's if they can steal a motor too, that'll hurt a lot. Doesn't look like he can with the P4 there.
Nice shot in from the Sherman Firefly. Jackson following up. Panzer IV's blocked
there,
in.
though. He's got to be careful if he gets the Faust off as well.
Oh, huge tulips block the vision of the Jagd.
Ooh. Panzer IV might be overextending here a little bit. Probably going to get 18-aided by that rifle.
I think that's the only camera angle I can use to capture
gonna
all this
lose a
Grenadiers.
Grenadier in this. Yeah, I just lost a Grenadier in the center.
Jackson, huge shot in against the Stug. Rifleman spotting. Firefly off in the distance. The Firefly could possibly afford... No, Noggano's a very careful player. He won't mess around.
Yeah, Cruzz's unit preservation this game, it's like game 2 now. He had such a huge infantry presence, and now all he has is 2 Vet-3 Gren squads. From the, like, 4 or 5 Gren squads he had before, and it's just depressing to watch what's happened to his army captain. Stewart is harassing, almost getting the Werfer, which is down to less than 50% health. Pretty good harassment from Scotch there.
Yeah, nice on the east side there. Continuing the harassment. Evading the Faust. Werfer coming in. Will it be the Werfer to end all Werfers?
Oh, right on the AT gun. Good choice, but... Oh, again, very unlucky for Cruzz. The Werfer doesn't even kill it.
They do have the Stukas ready. Hermann Goering is ready to bring in the skill planes. Hopefully,
yes, thankfully, they do have stupid close air support. Although it looks like Cruzz just spent his munitions on something. Oh yeah, he's calling in a
garrison
here. Barrage.
He really hated this house, Von. He could have, you know, maybe tried to kill some tanks, but...
he could have killed it with his Stug by attack grounding behind the heads, but I guess he wants to spend... Yeah, that was an unwise decision, in my opinion. He could have saved that muni for the stupid close air support spam he wanted. And he could have taken it out for free with just a vehicle. But I guess he really wanted that house dead as soon as possible.
He just wanted that house dead, and, you know, maybe he's more into planning for Lebensraum and sculpting the Eastern Europe into his particular image. And then before he realizes it, the Allies have kicked his ass.
Oh, we got some planes coming in. I don't know what these are. These are recon planes, or yeah, it looks like those are recon planes, probably from the Major or some other.
Yeah, it's Major recon. 50 munitions.
Axis somehow, even though Cruzz has lost so many infantry squads, are still holding the left, but just barely. I think a Werfer just died.
Possibly.
Wait, did? Oh, I think the land mattress just either the priest or actually no, the priest just took out the Werfer.
Oh wow, yeah, I can see that now.
That accuracy, yeah, just wow, that was a real lucky priest shot there. Also bad that Cruzz didn't microwave his Werfer out of the way.
Jagdpanzer's coming in to protect, but here comes the Firefly. You've also got the Centaur bringing up the rear. He attacks through the trees. He might even get dangerous there and just push in regardless. Stuart harassing the east in the center.
Yeah, it's about to triple cap again as well. This is not good for the Axis. They need to really try to apply some pressure because it looks like the Allies are in a somewhat comfortable position right now if they're built confident territory.
Oh man. And the Jagds really can't defend against the Firefly. The Firefly Veterancy 2, soon to be Veterancy 3 as well, and such a heavy hitting tank.
I mean, he's almost got a Bet 3 Firefly. The Jackson is just doing work wherever it can. The Jägerpanzer, it's not even Bet 1 yet, and it's got 0 kills, and it's just sitting there, wasting space, unfortunately.
Double Obers jump in. This could end terribly. They're pushing in.
Oh, grenade. Barely dodge it.
Is that the priest?
STG Ober is going to need to
yeah,
retreat.
the priest is
Throw
firing.
another. Almost. Oh! Almost wipes the captain.
Right, okay, the priest is firing in base. Well, this shot could kill the Obers, you know.
Oh! Yeah, Ober's in a danger.
Oh, it does as well!
Oh my god.
And he stands up! That is just... Oh
Wow.
my, his light's
I
shining in his
swear,
face.
The luck.
There's
in
his
those
soul.
tree shots.
There's the soul. There's their last chance in this tournament. It's
Oh,
leaving their
man.
bodies.
First he gets the Werfer and now the Over on retreat, but that's direct, like right as it gets there too. Jesus Christ. I would be pretty demoralized after that.
They got crucified by that. Crucified and destroyed, filed, and taken out of the tournament, quite frankly, as that stood...
Oh, Stube just goes down on the left to a Centaur and a Brit AT gun and a Firefly. That's depressing.
We are at 200 points.
I feel like Siddolio really needs to try to use that Jägerpanzer for a bit more aggressively versus this, because like the Centaur gets away with 20% health, the Firefly gets away with half health.
The learned elder statesman of destruction is on the field, Professor Sturmpanzerfear Brumbear. And
honestly, I'm gonna have to say it. I think Axis lost at this point. Without artillery, the Axis have absolutely no chance in this game unless the Allies throw all of their armor.
that's exactly what they're trying to do now. They're storming forward into the fray, into battle.
Yeah, they're trying to make a push in the center. They've got a Brumbar at least to sort of compensate for no artillery, but I don't know if it's enough to bring them back into the game here.
No, well, the Brumbear's got no main cannon right now. It's got a limp dick and it's very impotent.
Yeah, this is just depressing to watch after that beautifully executed early game from them. I don't even know how they let the Allies get back into this game. They just completely let their armies get decimated within a 15 to 20 minute time period. Stuka's being called in though. Jackson might go down.
Armor here.
Well, possibly.
Oh, he jumps out of the
Beautiful
Jackson.
RNG. Oh no, the Gren's trying to get line of sight for him. Well, and flank the MG as well, and try and stay in the game, of course. That's pretty important.
Yeah, I don't think it targets vehicles anymore after the vehicle crews pop out, unfortunately, too.
Oh, okay. And there you go. They've thrown in the
Oh,
towel.
man. That is just... Oh, that just hurts me. Just